Hello, everyone. Welcome to a new segment I'm starting here called Most Stories. So, this morning I had a message from a friend who kind of reminded me of a cool story I really should tell. And I'll get to all the details in a minute. This friend, by the way, his name is Maurice Gotro, but people call him Morris. Yes, he has the same name as me. We've been best friends for almost like 40 years, like really close friends. I'm supposed to be meeting him up with him tomorrow at one point, and we no relations. We're just having the same. We just have the same first and last name. That's why we became friends. Anyway, from a conversation we had this morning on Messenger, he reminded me of a certain movie, and I had to tell this little story. So a while back when I was working at the movie theater, which you'll find out which one in a moment. Well, that very morning, okay, I'll just start from the beginning. That very morning, it was a typical morning. It was May 2017. I I had gotten up a little early, and I don't usually watch a movie during the morning or afternoon before going to work. And it was going to be an 8-hour shift. I was starting around 4 o'clock. But that morning, I happened to watch the Amazing Spider-Man 2. You know, I love Spider-Man, as you can know. You know, Spider-Man is one of my favorite. He's my favorite superhero of all time. So I don't, I'm watching the movie and I don't think anything of it. I go to work that day, and there is a lineup around going down the hallway into theater number three around the corner, and the line is way up to the podium, and that's about a good 100 and so people maybe. So there's a nice lineup, and then somebody in the lineup asked me if the actors from the movie, because they were promoting the movie Bon Cop Bad Cop, the second one, with COLM FEORE and Patrick Huard. They're playing, buddy cops. One's from the United States and the other one's from Canada. One's English and one's French. You know, I mean, it's a pretty popular movie especially for Quebec's. Anyway, so I'm like, I thought it was a weird question because I wasn't expecting anything that day. So here I am on the podium, and don't I see these two guys walk in? As you can see, I get their autographs, so it's a pretty interesting story. So they walk in, and I'm kind of blown away by it. I'm like, are you kidding me? What a day to be at work, and that's where I work. That's Cineplex. So, now if you see their faces, that's COLM FEORE and Patrick Huard. Yeah, that's them right there. Aren't those? They're cool guys, and that's a le tout pour le tout, which is a pretty cool play on words. It's all basically translated as all for the two, using the English version of two. Yeah, so they came in, and here I am standing at podium, and now they just set up a booth maybe about not even 5 feet away, like five to between 5 to 10 feet away. I'm like blown away. Like I just watched him this morning on the Amazing Spider-Man 2. The one with Andrew Garfield. How is he here at this moment? And they almost didn't show up, from what I was told. They almost didn't show up. There was a kind of a storm that day. But at the last minute, Colin called up Patrick and said, yep, let's go to Moncton, New Brunswick, out of all places. Oh, and in case you haven't known, a little side note, Kevin Hart was here a couple of days ago also, maybe about a week ago or so. Kevin Hart in Moncton. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Well, anyway, so here he is 20 like 10 feet away. I go and like grab a magazine off the rack, the French one, of course, because it has both of them on the cover. The English version has somebody else on it, but and I do understand. I am French. Well, I do read and speak French. I understand it completely. like at least 90% of it. So I of course I didn't even have to encourage myself to go hi. Like I was like I gotta go and talk to COLM FEORE. So I walk up to him and the first thing I had to tell him was like, man, I just watched you this morning on the Amazing Spider-Man 2. Like what are the odds that you just happen to be here at this moment right now? And he was like, yeah, you watched that this morning. I was like, what are the odds? I could have never predicted that in a million years, you know. And then and this is what reminded me of it this morning, you know, because my friend Morris Gotro I talked about, he bought the Storm of the Century recently, and he just told me about it. And I told little Mo, I go, well, yeah, well, it's my favorite COLM FEORE movie. You know, he plays the bad guy in it, and I told him that in person. And you know, I told him in person that Storm of the Century was my favorite role. That's my favorite acting chops of his. I love him in that role. And which I had, and well, and then COLM FEORE was like, well, aren't you a little too young for that? And at the time, I would have been maybe about, because it was it was in 2017 May, so I would have been around 48. Yeah, I would have been 48. So I'm like, no, I'm 48. I'm a lot older than I look, you know. And beside, I had only recently watched Storm of the Century, maybe 3 weeks prior to meeting COLM FEORE. So yeah, and he was like, you're not the only one. A couple of other people in the lineup there just said the same thing, that was their favorite movie of mine. And he was kind of impressed because, you know, Maritimes, where we can get storms. We can get storms. So yeah. So when I was getting their autographs, and I was like, yeah, can you too, I want your autograph. And he joked and said, oh no, you don't have to humor him. I'm like, no, I want your autograph. I know who you are, and you're respectable. You're a pretty good actor too. I know that. So I had to get his autograph. I was like, they're an ensemble for that. You know, they're both on the poster, and they're both here. Of course, I want to get your autograph, and I'm never going to sell this. This is always going to be cherished. I'll when I'll bequeath it to somebody after I pass. But yeah, for me, it was a great memory. I like to get a nicer frame for it eventually. It is a full magazine in here. So, yep, that is it for this here little story of me meeting COLM FEORE. I hope you enjoyed that story. And like I said, I'm starting this little segment from time to time, not often, not too often, but from time to time I'll drop a little Mo story here, so you can get to know me a little bit better. So as I leave you, I just want to give you a reminder of, if you can, please subscribe if you like, but I want you to like and comment. That would be great. And so that's it for me. Everybody, take care, be safe, have a good day, evening, night, wherever you may be, and I will see you on the flip side. Have a good one. Later.